Let's do it. Okay. And he didn't end up going shield first, so I should have gone SK, should have gone with my gut and gone SK first, but that's fine. Alright, so I've got Kecker, which is good. Okay. Good, good, good. And let me pull up his deck list. Let me make it this sized. So he's got a Peller, but he's got no graveyard hate. Okay. Does he play sword? Yeah, he plays sword in this list. Okay.
You can run, you can hide, but I'm gonna get you.
Okay, so it'd be a Sire, Kecker, Diplo. Okay, let me screen. Okay. He also plays Ring. He also plays Ring. No. Go away.
Rumors travel faster than
Okay. So he also plays Ring. So conceivably I could Vivian the Ring, which would be fine. Okay. So this. Let's see. Okay. So I need Necker or Knickers to come out rather. And I just... Okay. It's fine by me. And there's that. So now if he uses this... I can Golden Necker, and I can put the Necker back in my hand, which is good. And then I'll still have a couple of these, which is good. Okay.
Lost spirit, devoid of name, depart now our
Sure,
veil of
makes
pain.
sense. So I'm gonna Kecker now. I could Kecker now. How many Wyvern shields does he play? Plays 2 shields.
sword.
I want to catch it, master. It sees me every time.
Okay. I was thinking about going to get another special, but I only have a handful of specials left. So if I want to Kecker again, then that would be, that's not going to work. Would have also loved to go get Vivian. So we'll see if opponent plays. He's got a lock, which would be nice to see here. He's got Vandergriff, so I'm going to save my, like to try and find Peller for Vandergriff when it gets there. That's nice because now the shield goes on that, which is good. Let's see. So I will find a sire with my next draw, which is nice.
Order will triumph. It must triumph.
What kind of tall punish does he have? Plays a lock. So he doesn't play any tall punish. But he does play Ring of Favor, so I'm gonna have to hold my ring till pretty late. I would like to play my ring on Dandelion, but
You gotta dodge. You gotta have the.
so this I'd be playing this for carryover if I play it on Dandelion. I don't want to play this other one because I want the Mega Scope. So we do that. Still haven't seen a damn Sorceress, which is not great. Be a nice Vivian target. I'm going to spread the wealth because I'd like to figure out where my cards are. So I wouldn't... So I'll find a Sire, but I won't find Ciri Nova in my next set of draws. It also dawned on me that I could... what does it say? Oh, a Sire is the top unit. That's perfect. Okay, never mind. JK.
Where is Sabrina?
That's unfortunate. Using full leader in round one in this match. I wanted Syndicate against this matchup, but yeah. Okay, that works for me. So I guess his assumption is I've burned full leader, but now I bleed him dry. It's a big Asire, and that's great finding Cantarella. That's nice. So it could be... So I do have unit special that, so that's fine for that. So I want to lead out here. He used his Peller, so he doesn't have a way to control Serinovo, which is nice. Okay. So now while I'm still ahead, I do that. So I had to use full leader round 1, which didn't feel great, but... And he didn't really commit that much. But the intent is that I think a really short round 3 where I've got additional carryover should be okay. So next up is a Sire. Put my Necker back in the deck. I do wonder if since I've got Last Say, I guess it's always just Last Say Vilg on Ragnar or on Immortals. And I can use Sword to control the damn Sorceress when it first comes out.
I shall be as you call.
Okay, so 27-12. I could Canta something, so if I Canta something like Wilhelm, and he plays a Margarita on it, there's that. There's nothing here I can play for carryover. I mean, I suppose another option would be... A better option might be, because if he locks... If I play Wilhelm, he can lock it. And then if I purify it, I don't have a shield. It's too easy then. If he doesn't float that lock, I think I'm alright. What I was thinking is that I can go get damn Sorceress, and then I can ping off his shields from him. Maybe he sits on this lock, though, which is fine if I take the route I just described.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. If not, we can probably still kill it.
Okay, so he's gonna float the lock. which makes sense.
Let us see. Odd. Feeling a bit of deja vu.
Let's go back over here. So opponent does have a series, so if I want to unlock this, then maybe that's not great. He gets 3 points of carryover there, which is fine.
Always going on about this Mark fella.
Just doing that so that Pognar's always a thing. Okay. So let's see. So opponent plays sword. Opponent only has a couple of cards left, so they probably drew what they wanted. So it's probably like Keldar. So I might as well. Yeah, I don't really care about points this round, right? They might remove my shield and then try to erudite it to reduce its value, which would be fine. And then my... Oh, they go Immortals. Okay, that's good for me.
Come to claim victory.
So I'd like this last save for Ragnar because they're going to get to keep their leader. So we're both going to have even. I assume that they have in hand, Cyrenova in hand. So this is either, assumedly, this is like what's left. There's Vandergrift. So 3 cards in deck, 2 in hand. There's Erendite, Keldar, Vandergrift, Ragnar, Ciri. So opponent is going to get away with carryover.
Living souls in your wake should never again forget your sake.
So I do that. I could have removed this shield, but I did that because I wanted to threaten that I can remove their shield so that maybe he overplays here and makes a mistake. If I had literally any other bronze in my hand, bronze unit, that would be very, very good. But it is what it is. That's fine. So Neckar's gone. So he's got, so he's got Vandergriff, Ragnar, Erendite. Is he thinking about playing Vandergriff for the carryover? Ah, see. Thank you. So what's left? It's gonna have 4 cards. So there's Erendite, Keldar, Ragnar. So that's fine. So probably plays Vandergriff first because it doesn't matter. Is it another Wyvern Shield? I won't be able to tell because it banished itself, I think. Not sure what the other one is.
Unlike some I do, Gwent, I polish my quill, not my sword.
Quick, you gotta dodge.
Sure do wish this was a lock. So I think so here's the thing. I lose 3 points on my sword potentially if I play Necker now. But I think I play Necker now because then I get a 13 out of it instead of this useless 6. So it's worth the points he's going to get on Keldar for me to do that. And I'll also be able to... I don't think killing the student matters, but he didn't shield it? No. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, that's good. I didn't actually end up getting my... I didn't actually end up getting my Erendite sword. That's really great.
Again and again.
Nice. That's really great. That's really good. That's what I hope for. Well, that's the game, friends. Yep. That's the game.
Loading the pendulum. I'm much better at that.
Opponent took the 13 point. Wow. Okay. I guess I was wrong.
Yes.
I think opponent.
Was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was gonna say opponent wins by 1 because of Keldar. Because I didn't find sword. Well, that's frustrating. See if I can take my time with that last mulligan.
Damn it.
Purify doesn't matter in this matchup. Okay. Oh, raid from Cheddar Paul.
I love that tone. Sounds good to me. My morale is lifted. You know any Stevie Wonder? You know, you
I
are
really
the
appreciate it,
sunshine
Cheddar
of
Paul.
my
Thanks so
life.
much, my brother. So I'm gonna do that. The other thing I could do is get absolutely raided in 10 minutes. That's pretty good. Okay. So I'd very much like to hold on to my locks, because I can do things like I could lock opponent is playing Succubus and AQ with Detlef, so like I could lock the AQ, or I could force him to use his Peller on a lock, which would let me use my carryover, which would be nice.
Another little thunderbolt. Charming.
I don't know if I can afford to not see... I don't think I can afford to not see Golden Necker. I mean, I have Tome, but then it'll be tough playing it twice, so I'm going to have to play Tome this round. So I think that's... I think this is going to have to be the move. It also means that if I can thin enough and play Necker again, that'll be good, because Gortha, Gavade, and Invo are at the bottom, so like I could play the second Necker last. I just have to be careful because he has
I'm just a sexy little cog in a fucked up machine called life.
in the fucked up machine called life. Girl, you're right though. I'm afraid that if I need to watch out, because if I play Necker, I open the door to my biggest lose con if that's nice. It's a really nice find.
If it happens.
If he lemons my Necker, then I'm in trouble. So let's go here, let's go here. The other problem is that...
Thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while? Sir, yes, sir!
So he plays Spores. Spores and Muzzle are really the only control. I could play Ring early, which I think is what has to happen now. The other nice thing is that then if he Spores this, it's only a 7-point Spores. Like a Spores right now wouldn't even get him back ahead, so that's nice. And then I need to win this round because I need to bleed out Haunt. Haunt, Detlef, AQ is all pretty nasty stuff. opponent has 0. He has thinning, but 0 tutors. So he would have had to have drawn Xavier Lemons in hand round 1. So what am I getting if I... So I'd get... So I think next turn I'm going to have to Arcane Tome. So I'd get, which sucks because it'd be Kanta. So I'd get Kanta. I'd get Kanta, Diplo, Gorther Gavade.
I don't have a dirty mind. That's one hell of an imagination.
All right, let's find out if the opponent has, if the opponent was lucky enough to draw Xavier Lemons in hand. Yeah, it's got to be this. I need to win this round.
Let us see.
Hail, Kerzer.
Calls for your death. It's nothing personal.
Did opponent draw Xavier Lemons in hand round 1 with no Neuromancy? Now the other question is, can opponent afford to play a card here? Because even if he did draw Xavier Lemons, he gets to 51. Yeah, okay. All right, so we do that. Whew. Okay. So what am I drawing now? Let me take a look. So the first thing I have to do is a sire to get this thing back in. I need to put an artifact back, and I don't have any more artifacts. So Necker's probably still best for 2. I think that's okay because I can always Vivian, which will be good. So what it is that I don't have any more artifacts, so I'm not going to draw another artifact with Necker, but I'll still get to play 2 cards at once. Now that I have his Aniro, I could also Aniro Vivian for either Thing of the Box or a Tall Punish, whatever. So I'm going to go here first.
Magic dice. This world
I think that,
dies
I mean, it's just the most points that I'm going to have, right? Because I don't think opponent can compete. I don't think I can compete with opponent's points in this round. So I'll just be playing for carryover. I could play one sword, which is nice. Might want to see if I could save my locks. Because right now, Invo is my bottom card. And a Tortoise is... So, let's see, hold on. I have to play... I think I have to play into Haunt here. Right? I think I have to play into Haunt. Opponent has other consumes that I could reset, so I might want to... I want to get leader charges out so that he can't debt laugh and stuff immediately. I don't think I get back in front for last say, but I don't care because he's going to be able to use K-Ren to prevent that, so that's why I'm not really worried about it. And I was thinking about controlling this, but yeah, that's fine. Still have to probably Bargeist it. Yep, which is good. Now I could... What's the best way to do this? This is a 4. This is a... What else am I trying to control here? So AQ and Detlef are lefts. I'm not really trying to control anything else, so maybe I just control this so that it forces maybe points into here. This will be a bigger reset with Vivian if that's what I want to do. So let's do it. If he has Muzzle in hand, if I don't play Vilgefortz, I wonder if I could deny the...
Living souls in your wake shall ne'er dare.
Okay, that's actually really good for me. So maybe I should have controlled this. Force the points that I'm worried I might actually need this. Plays a lemons in this deck. If he lemons my sword, that would be really bad for me. One fucking point to get my card back. Oh, and he decides to play anyway to kill. Okay, so that's great that he drew both tech cards, so I should have played in here then. He'll have to manually draw Succubus, which is good. I clogged his deck, which is okay. So now it's AQ Detlef, but he's got both leader charges. That's good. So I can draw Vivian. I really need to not draw Golden Necron Pillar because I can maybe dump the points into something and then Vilget. Or as long as it's not K-Ren. I know this is my bottom card. And Nilfgaardian Knight is before Vivian. Okay. so we'll see what happens here.
My pain serves a purpose.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I love that. I love that. I love that Nick Cage vibe. Oh yeah, no, certainly I appreciate it. Right. So the succubi are gone. So he's looking at so it's it's another harpy, another toad, another foglet, another Indriga warrior, K-Ren, Detlaf, AQ, muzzle. That's what opponent has left. So I want a Vivian second, and then I'll a Nero for whatever's left, I think. Or I could vice versa, it kind of depends. We'll see what happens. And the reason why I don't think he cared about Lasse is because he's planning to K-Ren Lasse. He's got 2 leader charges though, so there's that.
It's not that I'm always it's you who does.
I don't care about that, right? Because he can't get another one out, so that's good. I can't a Nero first because if I could draw Peller. Like, I'm fine with either one of these off of Necker, but I can't get Peller, so next has got to be... This is probably not going to be great, but whatever.
Long live the Emperor!
Okay, that's fine. And I don't think I care about locking that. There's also nothing else in Graveyard I care about, right? That's fine. Alright. Up 4, even leaders, even cards. His leader's worth more than mine, probably. The upside is he can't play AQ and Detlaf in the same turn. So he plays Detlaf. It also suggests to me he didn't get muzzle because he would have muzzled this, right? No succubus for you. I think I have to Necker now, and I can clear the board, and then I can lock and Vilg what's left. Because then I need to be able to Nero into Vivian if I don't draw her. Okay, that's actually perfect. So I do this. That goes to there. And then I'll invo the 9. So the reset on this is 7 points. And 9 is 16 points. If I do it the other way around, it's 15 points. So it's more points to do that. By 1. He could consume this to get dominance, to get an extra consume. I probably take the Vivian now. Because the Vilg is removal, right? And then I can remove and lock whatever's left. I forgot that I got a frog, LOL. Okay. It's a lot of points.
An interesting choice.
Okay. All right. So this was the matchup. When I looked at this, this was what I was hoping for. So spores is going to be really important, right? Let's pull up opponent's list again. He's got a spores, but my spores is going to be important. That's good. I can't have all my artifacts in hand right now. Okay, a discard is good. Let's see if I can not. So when you click over across the screen, sometimes a leader with charges will activate. So I managed to avoid that last game when I was trying to look at the opponent's deck lists. So let me see if I can be a Giga Chad and avoid it again. I would really hate to. I've done it when I've been on ladder where I've accidentally clicked. Well, there's a bug that when you move from screen to screen, it'll activate. Kind of like when you use an order ability. When you use charges on an order ability at the end of a turn, and then you start the turn, same kind of thing. So that tells me maybe it doesn't have Brewis because they open Haunt. And that may end up being okay, because then maybe opponent. That's super lucky for me. Good boy, niggers. Good boy, niggers. It's nice thinning for him. This could be nice for my spores, because if he uses that again, that could be good. Roach. Another discard is okay. Okay, that's smart. Takes that value to avoid the dingle doodle. In an ironic turn of events, the only special left in my deck is Magic Compass. Opponent does run a... It happened. Oh, it happened. I told you. Fucking Christ on a shingle. I literally said that this could happen. Fuck my fucking life. I clicked over so that I could click into the chat box and it fired off a leader charge for no reason. That doesn't get me ahead. That I didn't mean to use. At least it didn't hit the target of my tall punish. He did draw Brewis. So the intent was to come over the top. A lot of points. Good luck. It's a lot of points. And for me not having any of the rest of the discard package. And now this will keep growing as well, which is not great. I probably need to get this ticking. Okay. Still in the fight, though. I mean, there's a line where I get really lucky and I can hyper thin, because technically I'll be able to draw 8 cards if I hit Burna. So if I Necker in and Compass is one of my cards, so I'll thin those 3 cards plus off Necker plus the 3 cards with Compass, and if any of those unit cards is Burna, then conceivably what I'm thinking is that I might have to thin enough to Lippy. But opponent passes. So I have 2 more points. Is 46. So I need 9. I can't play this. It has to be Spores, right? Spores is exactly enough. And there's no other way around this, right? The only other way is another leader charge with a skirm. So I can play this anytime, which is fine. So I think I open with Burna to see what my hand looks like. There is a possibility I draw one of these 2 and then I can't Necker this turn, but I think I'm trying to play for Lippy, right? Because this is 2 and 3 is 5 and I'm 1 short, even if I perfectly discard, huh? So I think I wait a turn and then I've got a Necker when he's got a board state. I can't, I have 1 brick, right? The other problem is he's got lemons. So I might have to use my 1 leader charge to lock Xavier, because my sword's not, I can't lose sword. I mean, if I lose Compass, that's terrible. Let's see what happens. nice, but I mean, I can't go into... I mean, a long and a short round is bad for me, right? A long round gives him a chance to set up. A short round lets him use his leader, so we're just going nuts out here, which is fine. So the problem is if any of the 2 cards I draw off Burna are these, then it pollutes my Necker, and I'm not going to thin enough this... Yeah, 5 thinning is 1 card short. For me to get to 2 in this round to Lippy. So I've got a Necker now, and then he plays Lemons to squash my... And then he banishes this. I think I'd rather him banish Erendite. What's it, 4? Adrenaline 3. Okay. I'd rather him Lemons. I'm trying to bait it out because I'd rather my like, yep, there it is. That's fine. Like that sucks, but I was probably never getting back ahead anyway. It sucks having to use my last leader charge here, but it is what it is. I wish I wouldn't have had a leader charge trigger off for no reason, CDPR. Because then I would have been able to... I might have even thought about just killing this outright, right? Because he plays 1 Peller. And he obviously didn't use it on Serenova. If he has the Peller and Pellers this for some reason, I pass. Because a lose condition for me is that I don't have a second compass if I have to play Necker this round. I lose straight up if I can't play it. Being able to lock that would have been nice, right? If he AQs it, that's a lot of points. So what else am I afraid of? He played a Haunt. He hasn't played a Nero. He's got Muzzle AQ, K-Ren. That's really what's left, right? So maybe I take this pass so that way he can't play AQ. Him having both leader charges is fucking gross. $27, he'd have to do 18. I think because like Bargeist is 11, K-Ren is 12, so there's no 1 card in his deck that gets him ahead here without a leader charge. So I get a card and a leader charge. That's nice carryover for him. So maybe it was correct to have played the squirrel there to forced out something more than Toad. The other thing, though, that's nice about this is that the Toad will make it a little bit awkward, right? Because the Toad makes it awkward because, like, he can't play a Death Wish unit in the same turn that then he tries to AQ it. He won't be able to do both because that Toad's going to come out. So he's got to play a different Death Wish unit first. Wow, it's a lot of golds left in deck. Am I right, bro? So that has to go back. At least I'll know what my deck looks like. It's nice to find my carryover maxi at the end. I never found Compass. or Junod, so Compass and Junod are the bottom 2 cards in my deck. I should have one more leader charge. Not having Compass in hand is a huge problem. Dodulok is fine.
I'm just a sexy little machine called life. I don't have a dirty mind. Just one.
Because now that's doomed. So now I do this. So now he'd have to play another Succubus from hand, right? He'd have to play a raw Succubus from hand and then go consume it. And he'll have to play it late or else it'll get doomed as well. So that's fine. So he'll never have 2 in the graveyard now. What would I use Hjalmar on? Would have been nice to have found Hjalmar for lemons, right? So I didn't have to waste a lock on it. So Hjalmar is just going to be for maximum damage. I think there's really nothing I'm going to play it on. He's got left that isn't a Death Wish unit. So let me maxi now and let me see what.
Your magic can't harm me. No magic.
So I would draw into these, which means that I will never... So maybe I just accept that Necker... I just accept this for Necker, so that I can play the Compass at maximum value. Because the problem is, like, I need the flexibility to figure out what I'm playing. It's probably always Morkvarg. I'm also going to have to use,
It's you who's always sexy.
So he doesn't have... He doesn't have one of these in the graveyard. So he'd have to play one from hand. I also can get Junod value off Heron Kaduk. I want to hold off on that. Well, he's always going to get value, right?
Stand before the Queen of Skellige.
He's always going to get value on the Foglet.
Let's not get in the way of the axe.
Sadly, a Bargeist is 1 point too much value for me to Hjalmar it. Yep. So I think I play... I want to try and get some Junod value, but if I damage this now, I don't think I have a choice here, right? If I Hjalmar this to 2, he consumes and it goes to 6. Yeah, and then I guess I can Golden Necker and damage it again, unless he K-Rens it. Because this is always my Mork target. This is always going to be more points. Okay, for another Succubus.
We're not done if you can still walk. I'm just a sexy little cog in a fucked up machine called life.
Karen would be a bad day if he plays it next, but I think now I Necker to damage this to 4 for Junod. Maybe if I force him to Karen now, right? I mean, I don't have a choice with this line.
You can kiss my tail goodbye.
All that dancing around. It's not for me.
So maybe this is okay because he can't K-Ren 4 things, right? He can only consume this, and this if he wants to save it from a Morkvarg. He can't consume this as well, so he's got to choose what he consumes here. He could deny me the Junod value, or I can play the Rain. Yep, there's K-Ren.
I don't have a dirty mind. Just a clever imagination.
So I'll be able to Mork this for 20 points. Well, for 18 points. So I do this to try to damage this, and then Junod would be my last play. Wish I could Canby. I do that so that he can't muzzle this. And that's worth. Then it comes back.
It's not that I'm invisible. It's you who's always sexy.
Sorry, come back.
Great games, Sakura. Really well played, man. I commend you. That was really good. I think he still missed. He missed muzzle. He found everything else though. He played every other gold in his hand, so that was. I mean, that just is what it is. Okay. Let's see. Once I used a 5 minutes of lag to my advantage, Baron, I'm going to ask you about that here in a second when you reconnect. Oh, actually, give me 1 second. Stand by. Delay check. I think delay is off now. I disabled delay. Let's go! All right, cool. Give me 10 seconds, and I'll tell you guys everything that happened while you were gone in the past. Give me 1 second. Okay. Cool. All right. My chair, this chair has a leg rest, which is absolutely amazing, and it's got this headrest, so I can just chill, and let's talk about it. Yeah, I was thinking, I think I need to be a little bit like, so next time obviously I'm going to be a lot more deliberate, but essentially what I was thinking was, do I want to play decks based on what I think some of the matchups will be, or do I want to play decks that I'm most comfortable with so I can pilot them effectively? So I ended up going I trended more toward the latter, and then I said, you know what, the other nice thing is that 2 of these 3 decks for sure are blue coin, so I have a 50-50 shot of getting blue coin twice if it goes to a third game. That obviously didn't happen, and I had to get pretty lucky. I would say I got lucky in the second game, where he just didn't draw effectively enough to punish me. And then I don't really know what happened in the third game. He drew everything that he needed. And I somehow was able to control enough stuff there to prevent him from really abusing the coin. But yeah, that Mork was pretty slick, huh? Ban me next week if we match. Just ban you entirely? That's funny. Baron, you said that you used 5 minutes of lag once to your advantage. Could you explain to me how you did that? But also, let me take a second and pause. I wanted to also thank Cheddar Paul again for the raid. I know that he's out and about doing work for the Queen and Country. So I know he's not here, but wanted to thank him again. I brought some friends over. They were playing Elden Ring, and appreciate you bopping them here. And then also appreciate Erdem Snow. Appreciate you guys hanging around the chat, and it was really neat to like peer over between turns and between mental fatigues to see what you guys were saying and stuff. And I'm gonna obviously go back and watch it, and I want to find and I'll read you guys' chat as I go through. I just want to see all the places that I fucked up and all the misplays, and try and iron that stuff out. But the biggest on the strategic side, I just need to do better about particularly in the current meta. With the kind of decks people are gonna be playing, I need to be smarter about red versus blue. I mean, I don't know. I thought a lot about the matchups when I saw his deck list, and I was like, okay, like my scoia'tel list into. So here's the thought process: is my scoia'tel list into NG was good for me. I didn't actually think much about Syndicate because I decided to ban Syndicate pretty early on. I wasn't sure how good he was going to be able to pilot it, but I figured NG into Death Wish, I had enough control to manage it. And so the thought, I literally changed my mind at the last second. I was going to go SK first because I figured he would go Northern Realms first. But I took it a bridge too far, and I tried to get a little bit too clever. And I was like, well, if he thinks that he's going to struggle game one, then maybe he, or maybe he tries to sneak a win through in game one because he's on blue coin. He tries to sneak a win through with monsters. And if he does, then he's got 2 chances with the better deck. Why did I suddenly turn blue? Why is my camera resynchronize? There we go. What the fuck? I was like, why is it suddenly picking up blue light? Yeah. And then I was like, and then I figured that I said, well, then he probably feels pretty confident with the Northern Realms deck, with, you know, then being able to win twice with that as needed. But obviously my ST into his Northern Realms is great because all the pings, you know, from the dwarves take off the shields and yada yada yada. So obviously I was 99% sure he was going to ban scoia'tel. And so I was going to go with SK first. Because I figured NR with the locks into both, and Nilfgaard into both NR and monsters with the control I had in those decks was actually probably pretty good. But I shit the bed in game one, and I lost by a point. And so, yeah, we need to be on the comeback trail. So let's see what you guys think. Usually best to ban in order to support your worst deck. Yeah, thanks, Erdem. I'm gonna try to get better. And also, this is good experience for me to continue to improve, like, the decision-making process in both the macro and micro when it comes to tournaments. So that's the plan. Because I stopped the stream for 5 minutes while it caught. Oh, okay. I was thinking that, like, you did some sort of chicanery, but no, Erdem, trust me, I don't have a big enough brain to have done what I did. I lucked out a little bit. I think opponent had a little bit worse RNG when it came to the draws than I did, but in my defense, he also, that was the other reason I wanted to ban the Syndicate Necker deck, because it's a more consistent version of Syndicate. And so I was kind of crutching on the idea that I thought that because, like, I was hoping that maybe opponent wouldn't get Brewis round 1 with one of the monster decks, and then with that lack of thinning, it's just an Aniro. But instead I spiked a Kanta onto the Aniro, and so that helped, even though he drew Brewis both games round 1. So I'd have banned Death Wish because it's his red coin deck. It's not generally a good matchup for Fleur. It's not. No, I was going into that match being like, not only just from red coin, but just in general, like SK into Death Wish with my SK deck, which doesn't really have the kind of control like Nilfgaard does with Monster. I was like, how the fuck am I going to win this? Yeah, Syndicate Flurry could have been the right move against SY, because I don't really go tall enough to care about the poisons outside of Ring in round 1. Like, generally his poison will play for resolving the poison plays for 8 points on the bear. It's kind of like whatever. I don't have engines, so I don't really care if he's removing stuff. So that's fair. That's a good critique. I'm so good I didn't even need to play to win. That's a good question. Snow is not. Erdem is. Erdem is playing in the tournament, and so is C Money. A couple other people were as well. By the way, also shout out Lurking Friends. Well, we just won our week 1 head-to-head for the Kreve League Tournament Cup. So just deconstructing the game. And so that's... I couldn't be bothered to open Gwent right now. So that's part of banning sometimes, even if your ST and NG have matchups into Syndicate. It's the best matchup for Flurry, and Flurry is your worst deck. So this, what you're describing is an argument, is a sports argument as well, particularly in sports where there's like a limited number of macro skills, like tennis. You know, tennis, you have like serve, volley, forehand, backhand, and then there's like substrata stuff like, you know, movement or finesse or whatever. But the point is, like, do I make my forehand, if my forehand's my best shot, do I make my best shot my best, or do I, if my backhand is then hence my, like, my worst is the worst of the two? It's not my worst, but if the backhand is worse, do I spend time trying to improve my backhand? So forehand, backhand, do I try to get this like to here, or do I just do this and I just accept that my backhand sucks and I just try to play to my strength? So that's interesting. Let's just say that your percent of winning is only as high as the highest win rate from your worst deck. So if you can improve that number. Yeah. Baron, my next match, so the way that they run this is by Sunday of each week you submit your decks, and then you get paired up with your opponent, and then you and your opponent agree on when to play your match. So Sakrun and I agreed to play our match on today at this date and time channel circa an hour ago. So next week's match will be, I'm gonna try to get it scheduled Sunday so then I can post it, and I can give you guys a heads up. That's in the moment thing. You can improve your backhand without harming your forehand. It's true that your forehand won't get worse if you make your backhand better, but it's also true that you generally will struggle to, or you'll have very menial gains with your forehand if you're focusing all your time on your backhand. Oh, the next league. Yes, Erdem is correct. They cycle leagues essentially a couple times a year, so the next one will be after the... I can actually look. It'll be after the July drop, I think. Let's see. Yep, it goes through July 5th. And so then there'll be, there's usually like, they do like a week or two off that they'll do with the new drop. Everyone can kind of get acclimated to the new meta, and then they'll roll from there. CCC. That is correct. You're spot on the nose, Erdem. That's exactly how it is structured. Yeah, Baron. You know, Baron, you and I should agree to like only play like absolute shitbag memery, and then we could, and then we can like lament with each other as we tank stuff. Maybe we can even drag Snow back into it if the meta changes enough. Yeah, by the way, Snow, I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying that I was thinking about it maybe from the other perspective. I guess card games are a little bit different because there's an in the middle, right? Because like, you know, the opponent can't ban your forehand. So the difference would be like, the opponent is generally going to ban your strongest deck, 1A, or 1B. They're going to ban the deck that's the worst, like that none of their decks can compete with in terms of the matchup. So if they do that, then you're left with 2 decks in a best of 3. So if you're left with 2 decks, yeah. Maybe it's just simple enough, like you said, of doing a red-blue mixed. And if I were to just look at it on paper, like I pick the 3 decks that fit those categories, and then I look at them and say, do they gravitate? Are they point slime engine control, you know, consistent, inconsistent, whatever, and then make a decision there, right? Maybe that's the way to do it. Nick, well, in tennis, it's much more likely you can play purely with your strong shot. That's, yeah, okay. Yeah. So what you were saying about the trying to raise the win percentage of your worst deck makes sense there, right? Because it's essentially, they're going to say, are you right-handed or left-handed, continuing the tennis metaphor, and then tie your right hand behind your back if you say you're righty. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Erdem, do you mean you feel like you would have lost if the opponent if my opponent submitted those decks and was playing against you? Is that what you mean? Nikki was asking for my Sahil Orbs list. I thought it'd be good for the tourney. I gave him the list, but said probably not good for a tournament. You know, it is good for a tournament, Baron. A Necker Prism deck. Cap. Your worst deck is going to be the one stopping you from winning the most, and so important is. Okay. It is best of 3, Baron. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your opponent, I forgot, your opponent decided not to play. If you bring 3 sensor decks and your opponent brings Self-Wound, how do they win? It doesn't matter at all what else they bring because Self-Wound generally just loses the sensor. Okay. Yeah, I've never played best of 5, so I've only obviously ever watched, you know, other people play in the tournaments, but I've never like sat and thought about what the prep looks like. Okay, so this line of thinking is the reverse of that. Nice. Okay. Trying to make your worst deck have a better matchup even if it hurts your best deck. You know, the more that you're saying it, especially for a best of 3, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, no, I'm completely sure you're right, actually. I take it back. Snow, you're completely right, obviously. Best of 5, you can do a little more targeting. I could see how that would work. Yeah. It also means that it opens the lines of what the opponent is going to play, right? Or because... And I see what you mean, Snow, now I'm thinking about it. Because essentially... If opponent bans your best deck, and then you win with your next deck, then you need to win at least one more game with your worst deck. Or conversely, the worst matchup that you have, right? And if you lose that, like I lost game 1, you've got to do it twice. Or let me actually, I don't want to use mine as an example. The right example for this is you win game 1, you lose game 2. In a best of 3, now you got to do it again with that deck. So having it be that your worst deck is either well-rounded or is able to deal with a lot of stuff or something like that, essentially doing what I can to choose the best deck to put in that slot. The most functional deck to put in that slot is probably better than trying to war game like how I would play against hypotheticals the opponent would bring. I think playing absolutely nonsense meme shits will be strong. I mean, it could be like, that's the thing is on ladder. On ladder, you get like, essentially you can target a little bit more. Like if you do have a super memey deck, you can try to target the matchup so that you play against maybe their deck that isn't as greedy as yours / has less control or the least control. So yeah, you're right. You can like, you know, you can get through if they can't like get through defender, you know, or if they don't have graveyard hate. Like the NR deck that that my opponent brought played a lock and a peller, and that's it. No graveyard hate, no removal control. So yeah, like if I'd played something super fucking greedy, like if I'd played like what is it, 5 Unseen Elders, you know, Unseen Elder spam or Maddox spam or something like that, it probably would have gone through. Wait, Snow, did you reply to yourself? Didn't you say also for the record, I'll join a friendly tournament when I can, and then you replied and said, no, I don't? Am I reading that right? Okay, I thought maybe you misclicked, and I was like, wait, hold on, are you having like a little bit of a little bit of a break? Oh, okay, I got you. The way it's reading in my stream thing shows that it just shows the top line that you replied to yourself saying, no, I don't. And I was like, what? All 3 of your decks can be the same thing. You just need your opponent to bring one deck weak to it. Sure. I gotta head out. Yeah, no, that'd be great. Snow, I really appreciate it, brother. But do your thing and for Meow, and we'll catch up later. Thanks for taking the time to describe the thinking to me. You know that I love it. So, adios, bro, chacho. Baron says you can bring Tin Boy, Siege, double lacerate with crushing traps, and all you need them is to bring one swarm list. Now the thing I'm thinking about is, so maybe it's something like, okay, so Baron, war game this with me. So if I bring 2 Censor decks and 1 Row Punish deck, right? So if I bring, yeah, whatever they are, who gives a shit about the faction? But let's say I bring the scoia'tel list that you're describing here. Let's say the double lacerate with crushing trap. So I bring that, and then I bring 2 other Censor decks, and the opponent has 2 mid-range Necker decks and a Swarm deck. Does the opponent banish my lacerate deck? Because it's essentially probably an auto lose if I can target it against their their Swarm deck. Because Censor against the Swarm deck generally isn't as good. And then conversely, then do oh man, like this is what I'm trying to think of is like how the thought process would go. Because then does the opponent think, if I think the opponent's gonna banish is gonna ban my wide punish deck, then I guess I'd have to decide if it's any good into the other matchups, because then maybe I banish their Swarm if then I've got 2 Censor decks and my Censor decks, or just call 2 tall punish decks. Why does this keep happening? Why does let me see if I turn this to a different color. Okay. The auto res on my camera is losing its fucking mind right now. So if we bring 3 rocks, you just need them to bring 1 scissor. Yeah, you know, I mean, I probably wouldn't ban mill, because mill, even with the tactical decision mill, it's still kind of dependent on, like, it's still somewhat draw dependent, and it's still situationally dependent. So I probably wouldn't, and I know exactly what's happening, right? As opposed to, like, I have at least some marginal control over some of the decision making that I make. So yeah, I probably wouldn't ban mill, but that, with all the Necro decks running around, other than Compass, and maybe the NG one, maybe, but probably not. Yeah, I mean, really, it's the Compass one. That's why I played that the SK deck I brought to this tournament. That's why I played that as to get to pro rank. It's a combination of dumb luck and blind luck that I won 15 straight. But the point is, I played that because I just didn't want to lose into mill. There's so much mill around, like, rank 1, you know, 1 to under, you know, around the 2400 mark for MMR. So if you bring Erendite in all your lists, you are banning Shield Wall. Yeah, and that's why I'm a fucking putz, and I should have just played my SK Flurry into that NR deck to start like I wanted to. But it's fine. All right, guys. This hits about, if I can math, this hits just shy of 3 hours for me, and it's my morning, so I gotta go to the gym. Swole is the goal, size is the prize. It's Gaines Clock in the glorious House of Swole. So I gotta do that. Get some food and me do some other stuff. I really appreciate. Thanks for dropping in, by the way, Baron. I think you said you're Western Canada. So this is pretty early for you, but thanks for dropping by. Erdem, great to have you, and all my lurking friends. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Hope it's helpful or useful or not totally shitty to just kind of talk through some shit and everything. It's part of the game that I enjoy, and with the way the meta is right now, finding joy in this world is like digging through a dumpster and hoping to find a unopened pizza. So, oh, you're Eastern. Okay, so you're in line with me then. I don't know why I thought why I was thinking West Canadian coast. Ha! Because I'm dumb and I'm not a math doer. I'm not a math doer. Hey, but I went up from 17 to 82%. That's what fucking happens when you don't totally blow a tournament match. Hello? Okay, well there's no reason to make me think the bot's broken. Doesn't feel great. Cool. I know that I believe Miss Lady J is on, so I'm gonna send you guys over to her. She's doing some homebrews and some stuff, so yeah, let me send you on to Miss Lady J. If you guys want to hang out for a second and say hi to her, she's great people. So I'll do that. Hey, be good to yourselves, be good to others. Don't add or take away from the population unless that is exactly your intention. You guys are beautiful. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you guys on stream here in the next 48 hours. Peace!